All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a real enigma in the gaming world, Kirby Air Ride. This was a GameCube racer that, back in 2003, critics just kind of shrugged at. But for fans, it's been a legend for 2 whole decades. And now, the sequel is somehow one of the most hyped games for the Nintendo Switch, too. So how on earth does a critical flop become an absolute icon? Well, that's what we're here to figure out.
To really understand this game, you got to start with the people who actually played it, because their experience was completely different from what the review said. Just listen to what Reddit user Mr. Toxic Taco said. For a whole generation of us, the main racing modes might as well not have even existed. There was only one mode that mattered, at all.
And right there, that's the big mystery we're trying to solve. The game was sold as this super simple, one-button racer for kids. So what was hiding under the surface that made a community fall in love with it and stay in love with it for 20 years?
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we need to rewind. Let's go all the way back to 2003 and look at the game everyone thought they were buying. The biggest selling point of the game was, in the eyes of critics, its biggest problem. You didn't even have to press a button to accelerate. You just went. You steered with the stick, and the A button did pretty much everything else. Drifting, boosting, using items. For a lot of reviewers at the time, that just screamed way too simple.
On top of that, the timing could not have been worse. I mean, Kirby Air Riders, this totally new racing idea, launched just 1 month before Mario Kart Double Dash. You've got this little upstart going head-to-head with Nintendo's absolute king of racing. Yeah, it got completely buried from day one. And you can see that confusion perfectly in the review scores. In Japan, it did great. Famitsu gave it a really high score. But Western critics, they were just baffled. IGN and GameSpot gave it scores in the 5 out of 10 range, landing it a Metacritic score of just 61. Looking at these numbers, you'd think this game was dead on arrival, but you would be very, very wrong.
And here's why. This is the big twist. The critics were reviewing a simple racing game, but the fans, the people playing at home, they were playing something completely different. They were playing City Trial.
So for anyone who's never had the pleasure, City Trial isn't really a race. It's like a whole other game hidden on the disc. Imagine a scavenger hunt mixed with a vehicle-building RPG, all smashed together with a crazy party game. This was the game's secret weapon. The way it works is just brilliant. It all starts with the scramble. Everybody gets dropped into this big city for a few minutes to frantically find a good vehicle and hoard all these little stat-boosting patches. Then, as soon as that timer hits 0, bam! You're all teleported to a stadium for a totally random finale, where that weird machine you just cobbled together gets put to the ultimate test. And while you're scrambling around, the game is just throwing pure mayhem at you. Random events are always popping off. You'll have meteor showers, a giant bird swooping down to attack you, a UFO dropping rare items. It's all designed to bring players crashing into each other, fighting over the good stuff. It's just chaos. But the real magic is that you never, ever know what that final event is going to be. You could spend the whole time building a super lightweight, top-speed machine, only to find out the finale is a demolition derby where your speed is totally useless. Or maybe you build a heavy tank, and suddenly you're in a gliding competition. That total unpredictability is the heart and soul of the entire experience. As Reddit user Ava Bitten puts it, it's that wild mix of variables, the machine you find, the power-ups you get, the city events, that surprise ending, that makes it so you can play it forever. Seriously, no 2 matches ever feel the same. It's pure, glorious chaos by design. And that chaos by design, that was no accident. Not at all. It's actually the signature of one of the most famous game designers on the planet. The director of this game was Masahiro Sakurai. Yep, that Sakurai. The guy who created Kirby in the first place, and of course, the genius behind Super Smash Bros. And as soon as you know that, the whole philosophy behind City Trial just clicks. It all makes sense. This comment from Surfy Dude just nails it perfectly. Think about it. Smash Bros. Broke down all the complex rules of traditional fighting games to make them easy to pick up, super chaotic, and just plain fun for everyone. Well, Air Ride did the exact same thing for racing games. It's Sakurai's design philosophy in action. Create the most fun by creating the most structured chaos. And look, this connection isn't just some fan theory. It's a straight-up fact. Sakurai himself, during a Nintendo Direct, said that the Smash Run mode in Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS was a direct evolution of the ideas he pioneered in City Trial. So this wasn't some forgotten side project, it was literally the blueprint for a mode in one of the biggest gaming franchises of all time. So even though it was totally misunderstood when it first came out, the players who found it secret, well, they built a legacy that's lasted for 2 decades.
For over 20 years, man, this has been a legendary couch multiplayer game. This is the game you'd have your friends over for, spending hours and hours not in the boring races, but in the amazing, unpredictable sandbox that is City Trial.
And this quote from user XXXXBlueSkittleX, I mean, it just says everything. The pure dedication to this one mode is just incredible. It was a game hidden inside another game that for a whole community simply became the game. And now, after 20 years of waiting and hoping and dreaming, that dedication is finally about to pay off. Look at this incredible journey. From a totally misunderstood game in 2003, through 20 years of being a cult classic, to a sequel that secretly went into development in 2021. And on November 20th, 2025, Kirby Air Riders is set to launch for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's actually happening. And this is so much more than just a remake. Sakurai is back directing, and you can tell he's been listening to what the fans have been begging for. Multiple cities? Yes. That means so much more variety in the scramble phase. A new road trip story mode? A totally new way to play. And the number one thing everyone wanted, online play for up to 12 players. The dream of taking this legendary party game online is finally real. These new finale modes are the perfect example of how they're just blowing the formula wide open. Stuff like Rail Panic and Beam Gauntlet are going to test your driving skills in ways the original never did. And battling huge new bosses like Robo DDD, that adds a whole new epic challenge you actually have to prepare for. It's the same idea. Be ready for anything, but with the variety turned up to 11. So that leaves us with the big question, right? The original became a cult classic because it was this incredible surprise, a complex, chaotic masterpiece hiding in a plain old box. But now that the secret's out, can that same magic, that lightning in a bottle, be captured all over again for a whole new generation? I guess we're all about to find out.